Hello everybody, welcome back. It is Thursday the 10th of May. I thought today's update we'd, well, at least start outside, seeing how things are transitioning. Unfortunately, last night it got pretty cold and it does not look good for the chard that was brought out. However, half of it's still downstairs, so that's why I only brought half. So yeah, let's take a look at what's growing on here and we'll probably head downstairs. We'll see. In the world of good news, this is day 3 for the El Oro de Ecuador. Doesn't seem to be suffering. So that is excellent. I have been bringing them in at night, just putting them in the laundry room. Here's the Aji Penec, which has just got so many flowers on it. I'm so excited about that. And again, it has used a fair bit of water. Not quite empty yet, but getting pretty close. Look at that. Can you see that? Right there above my middle finger? That is a Penec pepper bomb. Huzzah! Very exciting. And today marks day 1 for the super chili, so it's looking a little limp. But the Penec looked a little limp on its first day. The El Oro looked a little limp on its first day, so I'm not too worried about that. I am super excited though with all the flower starts that it has on here, that we might just get a decent harvest of peppers this year. That would be fantastic. I've kind of been putting them here in front of all these branches from the trees because that's blocking a lot of the north wind that's been coming in. So kind of sheltered from the wind. They're close to the shade if I need to move them over, so kind of sheltered from too much sun. Hopefully this is a good thing, you know? Hopefully. Glad to say it looks like a lot of these raspberry canes are coming back this spring. Excellent. Not all of them. I'd say about half, but still, considering how rudely they were transplanted, I'm very excited to share that with you. Hopefully soon we'll have some berries coming off of these. Couple more years? I don't know. One thing that does not look like it's planning on coming back this year is this black lace elderberry. It looked pretty hurting last year, so I'm not too surprised, but I was hopeful. I was hopeful. Also from the world of it doesn't look like it's coming back this year, I see no strawberry starts in there. I see no leaf buds on this grape. I'm going to leave it and we'll see, but not expecting anything positive there. Over here in that John Deere parts crate, we've got all the kale I brought up. Looks like some of them could use a bit of a watering. And it also looks like some of them didn't make it through the cold last night, but we definitely have a few survivors. So that's good. The rosemary over here seems to be transitioning fairly well. Not fantastic, but fairly well. And the sage, while it's definitely taking a hit from being out here, seems to be producing thicker leaves for the new stuff. So I'm not giving up hope on that one either. However, down there in the cooler, with the temperatures last night dropping into the minuses, it was too cold for these chard. I was hoping they'd survive, but they are just not as strong as the kale, so it is what it is. Like I said, it's a good thing there's still another 6-pack downstairs and another one of the double cups in the kitchen window, so we're not out of chard, just out of luck with these ones. And the theory of unkillable mint. I'm not sure this one's doing very well. All of the old growth here is definitely kind of toasted. Again, last night's below freezing temperatures were not good for it. But all of this fresh shoots from the side, that all seems to be doing fairly well, survivably well anyway. So we shall see what comes of this in time. Not like it really matters because I got so many mints downstairs, but I would be really curious to see if this can survive. Did a little bit of cleanup here in the front garden patch, nowhere near enough, but did discover these guys trying desperately to grow in amongst all the grasses. So that's nice. Spring is definitely on its way. These colder nights can just bugger off, thank you very much. But yeah, I still got a lot of work to do in here. This is generally where the garter snakes hang out though, so I'm kind of thinking maybe this year, instead of putting peppers in this corner here, you can still see last year's Primo there, I was thinking maybe I'd put those kale in here. And hopefully any of those Borrasca moths that are about, little white cabbage butterflies, whatever you call them, can be snake food. That would totally work for me. So, kind of an everybody wins situation. we'll see. Nothing set in stone yet, but that is kind of what I'm leaning towards for this patch here anyway. Could be nice. And then I guess that takes us downstairs for a complete and total change in light spectrum. And yeah, take a look at what's still going on there. One of the only things really that's kind of changing down here right now is the status of the mead, which I guess Saturday makes 5 weeks for this. And I don't really have any sediment going on the bottom, but I have noticed that when I kind of swirl it around, I'm getting a lot of gas escaping out the top, which I'm taking to be a good thing, because associated with those bubbles is a really nice, I mean it's yeasty, but it's a very nice sort of smell. Nice and sweet, kind of enticing. So, am I looking for clarity in this, folks, or is that what it should look like when I drink it? Could use a little feedback on that, because as you know, this is my first batch. But even though I screwed up so many things, it looks like it might still be working for me. So that's great. Wanted to thank everybody for the feedback yesterday too on suggestions as to what I should put in those larger fabric planters. I think I am going to go with the pumpkins and the squash, because it'll give me an opportunity to put them further out in the right hand side of the garden yard there. And in theory they should be able to sprawl out all around in whatever direction they want without me having to move them every time I mow the lawn. So I think that's probably would be good for them in the long run. Don't really know, but I do know I would really like some good production out of these, because both of these are important, I don't know, sustenance gardening for me. It's food I want to eat. And as I see it, there really only are 2 reasons to garden. The first, because, you know, like most of my gardening, it's a hobby. You're doing it to keep yourself interested, to keep yourself entertained, to keep yourself thinking forward, planning, and, you know, trying to be creative and try new things. The other reason, as I see it anyway, to garden is to genuinely feed yourself. You can save a lot of money by gardening, depending on how you do it, of course, and it can really take a lot of stress off the grocery budget. So that's the kind of gardening I'm trying to get into and transfer out of the hobby gardening. The aquaponics, for me anyway, is pretty much a hobby garden. The peppers are definitely a hobby garden. Kind of an insanity challenge garden for me too, because I mean really I got a 3-month grow season, 4 months in a really good year, and yet I'm trying to grow super hots, right? So obviously that is not sustenance gardening. The squash, on the other hand, you know, spaghetti squash, pumpkins, acorn squash, all of that stuff, that is gardening to try and reduce the grocery budget. So I'm really hopeful that this year I can pull off a lot more from that. The tomatoes should be a good start as long as I can keep them alive. Looks like, you know, another 2-3 weeks and then I can probably start putting them outside. So that'll be great. They can get started actively producing. A lot of them already have flower clusters on them, so hopefully I should get some good production, right? Like, I set my goal this year for 100 pounds, which isn't a whole lot, but at the same time it's more than we got last year. So always keep raising the bar, always keep trying to do more and try harder and provide just that little bit more for the family, right? That is the point and purpose of my gardening now. And I'm sure you guys have kind of noticed that transition over the last couple of years on my channel, that it really isn't about the hobby gardening anywhere near as much as it used to be, and it really is about the sustenance gardening. So yeah, on that note, I gotta make hay while the sun shines. I want to go play with the Ryobi chainsaw on those trees that are down. It's not really behaving itself, so we may have a video coming up in the next few days on that, even if it's just so the guys can see what's going on with their saw. But yeah, I'd really like to make that behave itself today and get dealing with those trees. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow when we will take another look at that hot peppered schnapps that I've got going on, because that'll make 3 weeks that it's been in the bottle, and a few of those peppers are definitely starting to lose color. A couple of them are starting to like stay sunken on the bottom for, you know, half an hour to an hour after I shake it. So it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. But, you know, no power tools, no heavy equipment. It's Friday. What better time than Friday, right? All right. I'll see you guys then. Bye.